We're traveling up the Sukonya River in Tanjung Puting National Park. This is the largest protected area in Borneo and home to more than 5,000 orangutans. This complex mosaic of lowland habitats has a reputation for weak protection from illegal logging and mining, but it still remains wild and natural. The park, created in 1982, covers an area of more than 1,000 square miles and is home to 9 primate species, including the bizarre-looking proboscis monkey, the macaque, the gibbon, and, of course, the orangutan. The word orangutan means man of the forest in the Malay language. Orangutans are the largest arboreal mammal in the world, living and sleeping in trees. They travel with ease through the canopy, rarely descending to the forest floor. They are wholly dependent on tropical rainforests for their survival. Young orangutans are taught to climb by their mothers. It is not a natural skill. This 9-year-old carefully establishes the next hold before letting go of his present position. These gentle apes are found only on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra and are listed by the United Nations as endangered. In 1900, there were about 315,000 orangutans in the world. Today, only a few biologically viable populations remain. It took us a total of 3 days to get to our lodge, traveling through Singapore to Jakarta to Semarang, where we spent the night before flying across the Java Sea to the remote village of Pangalangbun. From there, we drove to the dock in Kumai to board our klotak, a traditional Indonesian longboat, for the 2-hour journey to Rimba Lodge, located adjacent to Tanjung Puting National Park. This eco-friendly lodge, located right on the Sukonya River, has all the amenities of air-conditioned accommodations, electricity, running water, good food, mosquito netting, and a warm and friendly staff. It is built right into the rainforest, attracting macaques from the surrounding area who are hoping for a free handout. A portion of the fee goes to orangutan preservation. Macaques live in many different habitats across the globe, making them the most widely distributed genus of non-human primates. Several species of macaque are used extensively in animal testing, such as the rhesus macaque. The Rh blood factor found in humans, as well as in monkeys, is named for it. They are highly intelligent and display a great variety of calls and facial expressions. Each morning, we made the 2.5-hour journey by private Klotok to Camp Leakey, located in the heart of the park. The camp was founded when Barute Galdikas, a Canadian graduate student, arrived in Borneo in 1971 to set up the camp as a research and rehabilitation center. She was one of the Leakey Angels, along with Diane Fossey and Jane Goodall.
This is Camp Leakey. Before I am Sogayat, I am working here. About 10 years I am working here. The orangutan here, more than 200 orangutan. And then all national park, 5,000 orangutan.
Camp Leakey no longer operates as a rehabilitation center. However, some of the orangutans who have set up their home ranges around Camp Leakey occasionally come into camp, to the delight of the few visitors who come to this remote outpost. I seem to attract a lot of attention from these strong but gentle animals. I guess they sense my comfort at being in their presence. This huge male, making the impressive entrance, is Tom, the dominant male in the area. He is about 20 years old and fought his predecessor for the right to the title. The orangutan has a large head with a prominent mouth area. Adult males develop a large cheek flap, called a cheepet. They also develop a large throat sac, which amplifies the long call used to attract females. Wild pigs are attracted to the occasional feeding which goes on at the camp. Although the older orangutans pay little attention to the pigs, young ones are understandably weary of the larger animal. Unique among primate species, orangutans are solitary animals and do not form groups, although a dominant male will attract and mate with most of the females within earshot of his loud, long call. There are several feeding stations located in the park surrounding Camp Leakey. During the dry season, when fruit is scarce, bananas are set out at the same time each day, Only a few orangutans come in for this public viewing. Primarily, their diet consists of fruit, although they eat leaves, seeds, tree bark, plant bulbs, tender plant shoots, and flowers. They also eat some insects. Due to the relatively low calories in fruit, orangutans forage 60% of the day. Since they selectively choose ripe fruit, whose seeds withstand the passage through their digestive systems, they are a significant disperser of seeds. Like the other apes, orangutans have an opposing big toe on their foot, similar to the opposing thumb on their hand. It's raining. In fact, it rained every day since we arrived in Borneo, and this is the dry season. Annual rainfall in the park reaches a whopping 10 feet. Obviously, orangutans are used to the rain, but that does not stop them from constructing a makeshift umbrella to ride out the downpour. Orangutans are the slowest breeding of all primates, having the longest interbirth interval of all land-based mammals, almost 8 years. After a gestation period of 8½ months, the female will have her first baby at age 12 to 15. She will give birth to about 3 babies in her lifetime of 50 years or more. Mothers care for their young until age 8 or 9, when they are encouraged to go off on their own. The dominant male initiates courtship, summoning females with his booming long call. Mating usually lasts 3 to 10 days and is terminated by the female, who does not want to share her food source. Each animal, male or female, claims a feeding territory which can be quite large due to a diet consisting of primarily fruit. The male has no role in raising the young. We're on our way to visit the Aspai Gold Mine, one of several along the Sakonia River. Independent miners work each pit, scraping together a meager living of about $100 per month. The gold dust sells for about $150 per ounce. Sand and water pumped from the pit run off the end of the slide, but the grains of gold and other particles are caught in the carpet's fibers. The material caught in the carpet is rinsed into a metallic pan and combined with mercury. The gold and mercury bond together while the sand and water rinse away. These mines have been in existence since 1989 and are devastating for the local communities living along the river. The release of mercury residual has been responsible for at least 2 major fish kills in recent years, as well as making it dangerous for all wildlife and human beings that come into contact with it. It's raining again, so let's take a short lunch break of delicious vegetarian Indonesian food, cooked fresh on the boat. The proboscis monkey comes to the river's edge each dusk to rest and play before settling down for the night. This highly endangered species is found only on the island of Borneo, living mostly in lowland swamp forests along freshwater rivers. It is estimated that only about 7,000 animals exist in the world, a decline of 80% in the last 30 years due to loss of habitat. The characteristic long nose on the male seems to be a symbol of virility. The longer the nose, the greater the attraction to females. Proboscis monkeys are vegetarians and eat mostly leaves, although they do eat fruit and seeds. They live in male-dominated troops of 15 to 30 animals, but young females move from troop to troop to avoid interbreeding. We're at the Orangutan Care Center in the village of Pasir Panjang, about 3 hours from our lodge. Orphan orangutans are brought here from the surrounding area to be cared for and raised by surrogate human mothers. The infants' mothers were most likely shot by neighboring farmers when they wandered onto a fruit orchard in search of food. In most cases, the farmer called the center for help. In some cases, orphans were rescued from the illegal pet trade.
Holding on to me for like dear life.
This 6-month-old infant cuddled me, as would a human infant. In many cases, these orphans cannot remember having an orangutan mother.
So from here you back to Rimbalan?
Yeah.
Oh, just you have a special day.
There are more than 300 young orangutans in the center now, straining the facility, which employs both paid and volunteer workers. 3 to 5 new orphans arrive here every month and stay until they are released into the wild at age 9.
So I will show you the other group.
Simi, one of the full-time staff members, is explaining that the center is supported financially by the International Orangutan Foundation, as well as by other wildlife organizations. Additional donations include medical supplies and volunteer veterinary services. Hospital facilities are extensive, with several operating and examination rooms, a complete stock of medical and pharmaceutical supplies, and a reasonably complete testing laboratory. Preventative medical care is an important function at the center. Orangutans receive routine checkups, with progress recorded for their entire stay at the center in individual notebooks. Women concentrate on the infants, while men release and follow the juveniles into the adjacent forest every morning as they learn to forage for food and to build nests, skills usually taught to them by their mothers.
I have a friend already who wants my hat.
But no, not all of them, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he just climbed up. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes they can try to fight.
Okay, well, we don't want that.
Take it back. Can let bend down a little.
Sayangi.
Nih, nih. Deren.
Nek, rusak, Nek.
Deren, jangan. Sini. Sini, Deren. Deren. No. Jangan. Jangan. Okay. It's okay. And he doesn't want me anymore. It's the hat. Sebentar.
We are at the climbing school. 4 to 6-year-olds come here every day, mostly to play, but also to learn to be comfortable in the trees. Wild orangutans rarely come down to the forest floor, spending their entire life in the rainforest canopy.
Pray. Yeah. No. Pray. Yep. No. Pray.
It's lots of fun watching these young orangutans at play. Understandably, some refuse to go back to their cages after the session is over, forcing an agile staff member to climb the trees to fetch them. Behavior no different than human 5-year-olds. Gibbons are small arboreal apes distributed in the tropical and subtropical rainforests of Southeast Asia. They are considered to be among the world's greatest acrobats, swinging from tree to tree, all done in trees up to 200 feet above the ground. They live in small, stable family groups, consisting of a lifelong mate and their immature offspring. Unlike other apes, gibbons do not make sleeping nests. They simply sleep upright in a fork between branches, resting on tough pads located on their rear ends. The orangutan, this most gentle of the great apes, is in serious trouble. Humans have been decimating their natural habitat at an alarming rate, with orangutan population declining by 1/3 over the last 10 years. Worldwide population now stands at 25,000 animals and is rapidly decreasing. Orangutan survival is especially sensitive to habitat loss because they are solitary animals. Each female requires an area of more than 5 square miles to gather food, and their very slow reproductive rate means that a loss of a few percent of the females can spell extinction for a local population. Indonesia has just entered the Guinness Book of World Records as having the fastest rate of deforestation in the world. The government has proposed a land use plan for Borneo that will convert 10 million acres of prime orangutan habitat to palm oil plantations. And that includes land adjacent to Tanjung Puting National Park, home to the largest population of orangutans in the world. As forests are clear-cut on a massive scale, the number of orangutans killed and the number of infants making their way into captivity or rehabilitation centers is increasing. Perhaps their ability to adapt to human nurturing is a silent call for help. Perhaps we should heed their call.